You're listening to Popcorn in Orbit, a podcast for sci-fi lovers of all galaxies, hosted by filmmakers Jeremy Major and Ian P. Causer.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It's Jeremy here in Canada alongside Ian in Great Britain. Ian, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you, buddy. How are you?
Good. Yeah, we've got a fun show today because we're going to get granular.
Yeah.
Talking about some of the specifics of what makes certain movies so great and how important that opening scene is. Do you want to talk a bit about what's ahead for us today?
Not to tell you too much about how the sausage gets made, but the most important thing for any screenwriter is those first 3 or 4 pages. That's drilled into you, right? Because you've got to hook people from the get-go. And the people who are going to read this script, it's not consumers going to a bookstore and buying a book. It's producers, it's studio executives, it's managers, it's agents, and they have a pile to read. So if you don't hook them straight away, they're going to
forget it,
toss it in the trash and move on to the next one. And
exactly.
I think every screenwriter, when they're starting out, goes through this process of, I need to improve my opening. And that's why it's very important for writers specifically. So when I see a great opening in a movie, I always metaphorically salute the writer.
Oh, yeah.
Because that means they crushed it. Now, it could well be that the director actually has changed it at that point, and it's the director that deserves the credit. But a great movie opening is extremely hard, I think, to create. Particularly if it needs to be original. You know, it needs to be original. It needs to be memorable. It needs to set the story scene straight away, and it needs to grab you.
Right.
Grabability. That word?
Grabability. It is now.
It is now, yeah. What a writer I am. Just inventing words. So yeah, it's a very hard thing to do, to pull somebody straight into a story.
Totally.
And I think it's the hardest part. Do you agree with that? Of the whole film, if from beginning to end, the shooting, the writing, the acting, everything, I think the hardest bit to absolutely nail is the opening.
There's probably some truth to that.
And ironically, I'd say the second hardest is the end, because you don't want to, if you've done brilliantly in acts 1 and 2, you don't want to let the audience down in act 3.
No, they've invested so much time, and emotion into this whole process. It's like they need payoff. All right, so that's what we're going to dive into today, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite opening scenes in movies. And just before we get to that, we've been talking a little bit about this film that we shot in the summer called Joe 3.0. And it's a sci-fi film, sci-fi short film. And I think we mentioned that it's playing at the Hamilton Film Festival a little later in October on the 24th. Well, we have some exciting news now about where it's going to live for the next little while. Did you want to talk about that? Yeah,
of course. I mean, Jeremy's the one that's made all this possible. So I feel a little bad about being the one.
It's a team effort.
Oh, God bless you. He's such a nice guy. He's taken my short script, and actually, I was only just thinking about it earlier. It has been so rewarding. Jeremy met the founder of Found TV, which is a found footage streaming service. Saw a gap in the market and told me about it. And then I said to Jeremy, well, if I write something, will you shoot it? And he says, yeah, you write it, I'll shoot it. I wrote it, he shot it. He's done an incredible job. I've just seen the final cut, and Jeremy's absolutely nailed it.
Well, I had a good script to work with.
Oh, thank you. See, this is just
and I don't like I hate that we have to call it a short film, because it's like half an hour long. It's like a mini feature, I'm going to call it from this point on.
It's 3/4 of a Black Mirror episode.
Right.
Yeah, is that a thing?
I don't know.
In terms of length, it is. It's 3/4 of a Black Mirror episode. So, Jeremy's done a fantastic job. Louis at Found TV loved it, and is very happy to have signed it to worldwide streaming. Is that right, Jeremy?
I think that's
worldwide streaming.
Yeah.
So it will be on Found TV from the 26th of October.
The 26th it premieres. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're really great over there at Found TV, and I think it's a lot of fun for us because this was a bit of an experiment. Like it was our chance to sort of play around with something we hadn't done before, and you're kind of bound by some rules of the genre.
Yeah,
found footage.
Those genre rules are fascinating, because if anybody out there is going, "Oh, I don't particularly love found footage; it gives me a headache," You don't have to worry. This film is not a shaky iPhone sort of running through the woods, Blair Witch style.
No.
Jeremy's made it cinematic somehow by using effectively it's CCTV camera footage, but it's like 4K and there's cinematography in there and it's gorgeous and it won't give you a migraine, I promise. But yeah, that's the biggest takeaway I've got. I'm very excited about it. Love the final cut that Jeremy's done. Jeremy's edited it. Jeremy's done the music for it. He's done everything so well. We have spent years, haven't we, buddy, developing these features that we're continuing to develop. And I think for myself, I'm a writer and an actor first. And for Jeremy, I think he's a director and a musician and an artist first. And we're kind of producers second. So whilst we enjoy developing these things and raising finance and approaching talent and everything else, it has been so rewarding to actually, in a really short space of time, go from the inception of shall we have a go at this to a finished film that will be streamed worldwide in just a few short weeks. And that's probably my favorite part of the process.
It's true, isn't it? And I think that's one of the sort of perks of the genre, because it's such an experimental genre, this horror found footage thing, that the rules, as much as you're bound by a certain set of rules, there's a lot of freedom as well. And it's a medium that embraces experimentation, because people want to see something new and different and big ideas, right? What are you doing with big ideas? And so it was a lot of fun.
Excited to get it out into the world.
Yeah. So 24th world premiere at the Hamilton Film Festival. And then on the 26th, you can catch it on Found TV, which is foundtv.com.
You'll find the app on smart TVs. Just download the app to your smart television and you can go in.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Now that we've had our shameless plug,
what do you think the opening of Joe 3.0? How would you grade the writing of my opening for Joe?
I think actually the opening of Joe 3.0 is very cool because I don't want to talk about it too much.
No, you can't talk. Yeah, no spoilers.
It's very intense, and it's the whole intent is to make everyone go like, "What the F?"
Yeah, is going on.
It's a WTF opening.
Yeah,
and it's funny because in a 30-minute film, the opening is like I think 4 or 5 minutes. It's actually a pretty long opening, and I'm hoping people just go like, what the heck just happened? Yeah. And then the mystery begins to unfold. So
fingers crossed it has that world famous grabability.
Yes, the world famous grabability that everyone's after. Okay, so let's talk about great openings in films. You touched on a little bit about what you think is important. Do you think that they are largely written in chronological order, or are most writers coming back and writing it last?
That's a really good question. Speaking from experience, I've often gone back and rewritten. In fact, there's often times where the scene that becomes my opening scene was actually on page 33. And I've just cut and I'm right, that's how we're going to start the film.
Right,
because on second draft, third draft, fourth draft, you're getting rid of all that exposition that you don't need and what makes a decent film, a poor film. And so what I tend to do is have a 150-page script that ends up at 92 pages. Right. And the opening will just get brought forwards.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that you're straight into it. Trade secret here, I don't mind admitting it. A sneak cheat is to just cut a scene and stick it on page 1.
Yes.
Out of linear.
Right.
So that you're straight into something exciting, and then you'll flash back to it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think often it's a moment sort of just before the climax.
Yeah,
where things are escalating, and you give people that little shot of adrenaline at the beginning.
Shot of adrenaline, and then that infamous 3 days earlier will pop up on screen, and that's a really effective way to do it. But I kind of see it like a cheat. If I'm honest,
I know.
I've done it and I will continue to do it, and there's nothing wrong with it. But if you can write a true opening that is the beginning of your story, that is great. That's reaching for the stars for me. And and when I look at my favorite films, that's what they are. They've just nailed it from page 1.
It's kind of like that opening is a piece in and of itself.
Yes.
Right. It has a little more of a standalone quality. And I think depending on your genre, you see sort of different conventions used.
Yeah. Bond has its own convention.
Yes.
So every Bond film starts with something that has nothing to do with the rest of the film.
Right.
Okay. So every Bond opening, that exciting opening, that won't have anything to do with the plot of the film. That's just the pre-credits bit of excitement and adrenaline. Mm-hmm. Some people have even suggested that with some Bond films, it's the final scene of the last film.
It's how it feels.
Yeah, which is how it feels. And then they put those incredibly expensive credits in with Shirley Bassey or Adele singing the theme tune for that particular Bond, and then the story starts.
Yeah.
So my question to you is that a cheat? And is the opening scene really the first scene after the credits? Because it has nothing to do with the film.
Okay. I wrestled with this a little bit in thinking about today, because there are movies where they have an opening scene, which I'm not necessarily in love with that opening scene, but the setup for the story that follows is often really compelling.
Yeah.
And take, for example, and I hope I'm not spoiling something later, but Star Wars, for example, it does start with a battle and whatever, but it's the sequence where Luke's family dynamic is changing and he's got to go, and you know what I mean? There's a death and all that kind of setup. To me, that's often really rewarding. And I often out loud here, and it probably gets annoying to my family, will say like, oh, now you got a movie.
Yeah.
Right? Because they added all those right elements, and now it's on its way.
Yeah.
And it's got momentum and trajectory.
This is why I try not to watch films with people. I tend to prefer watching them on my own, because I will pause and rewind and annoy people. Or say something like that, and they're like, well, it's a great opening. I was in the film until you paused it to tell me it was. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's what we need. It's a breakdown of why that works. Yeah.
So I guess largely what we're talking about today is a great opening scene, not necessarily a great setup to the film.
Yeah.
Does that seem fair?
I think that's fair.
There's probably a little flexibility there.
The greats do it all. They set it up. They make it memorable, and they grab you instantly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the holy grail that everybody's trying to achieve. So should we get into our favorites?
Probably should get into it. Yeah. So I'm going to get this one out of the way, because I'm going to say it. Jurassic Park.
Oh, yes.
Is a stinking great opening.
Yeah,
right?
It really is.
You're just thrown right into the intensity. First of all, as a director, the opening shot, it can be like, it's so painstaking to choose, because it's that first impression, and you might have the greatest film in the world laying ahead, but the first image that people see, I just feel like there's so much pressure on that.
There is.
And this one opens with, the trees. First of all, you have the sounds and the tone and all that stuff, right? But then you get the trees like shaking, and Spielberg is great for just constantly teasing you about what you think is happening, right? And I think he wants you to think the dinosaur is about to jump out of the woods, right? But then he just kind of slowly reveals, and things just turn to chaos as those raptors try and break out of the cage. And there's so many great lines there, that are etched in my memory, like shoot her. And you have that like echoey departure from that opening sequence, and dissolves into the water and whatever else.
Fantastic. We're going to have a lot of Spielberg on here.
I know.
I didn't want to put our rules in place, but it is what it is. He's the greatest.
Yeah.
And the first movie I want to talk about is also Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
And it's Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan's just, to me, the greatest war movie ever made.
Yes.
I went to see it in the cinema with my dad. He took my mum the week before, and he said, you've got to see this. I was studying history, and he took me the following week, and I don't think war's ever been put on film quite like that before.
No.
Now, the opening scenes, actually, with being really strict on what the first shots are taken from that present day in the mid-90s in the war graves in Normandy.
Yes.
And that was particularly poignant for me because that was a school trip that we did, and many kids in England did. Yeah, and when you were 11 or 12, we were taken from England into France to the beaches themselves, and then to those incredible war memorials where those Christian crosses and the Stars of David are in perfect lines. And just the silence is something. Yeah. We're the generation where our grandparents fought that war. Yeah. It's an incredibly important thing that we were taught at school. And those are the first scenes, is the family walking through, and this older chap who you wrongly believe is Tom Hanks, his character, you know, finding the grave and sinking to his knees and starting to cry. And then it cuts straight to 1944 D-Day, Omaha, on one of those landing craft, and the noise and the
it just
horror.
Doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. And it's 35, 40 minutes of just barbaric, incredible action. And by all accounts, they shot it like you see it. They took they shot the beach inch by bloody inch as they're going up it. Yeah. Intentionally not telling Tom Hanks where something's going to blow up, or where an extra has a prosthetic that's about to be blown off. So that the look of shock on the actors' faces is very real.
Good choice. Great one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Anything? What's next? Spielberg, I'm guessing.
Spielberg let's move to a Spielberg title now. We have to bring up Jaws. I'm sure that's on your list.
It's not, actually.
Oh, it's not?
I thought it'd be on yours. I thought it would be on yours.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, teenagers are so expendable, you know?
Yeah.
Movies, no. But just such a great, you know, the horrifying scream, the night setting. There's just so much to scare you right out of the gate on this.
It's the gurgling.
The gurgling,
Yeah, Susan Batlin is the actress. She was, I believe she was an Olympic swimmer, and that's why she was cast.
Right.
It's not shot in a tank. That's actually shot off a beach in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
If I'm right, I remember there are cables attached to her hips under the water with guys pulling her, literally violently pulling her to get that side-to-side action.
That sounds awful.
It is, yeah. Richard Dreyfuss talked about walking through his studio in post and seeing Steven Spielberg waterboarding Susan Batlin. He says literally she was in a chair with her head back and he was just pouring water over her face to get and with a mic there to get that gurgling and coughing, and you know, he says that was a weird thing to watch, just somebody being waterboarded in 75. I've got a confession to make. It's that horrific to me. I'll often wind through it when I watch Jaws. Because it's the worst part of Jaws for me.
I agree with that.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Do you watch it all? Would you always watch it?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't skip through it. Yeah.
You wouldn't. Yeah. I just really
part of the experience. It is. It's
which
terrifying.
means it's a phenomenal opening.
Yeah.
And not apart from the story at all. You know, it's showing the antagonist. It doesn't show him, does it? But it's introducing the antagonist before the protagonist.
Yeah, it is, absolutely.
Which is exceptionally effective in horror, particularly, I think.
What more can you say? All right, what have you got?
I've got another Spielberg title. I'm kidding.
Oh, Ben, what a surprise. Oh.
Yeah, I know, I'm kidding. We're going to go to the great...
Yeah, that's my last Spielberg.
Is it? I've got one more.
Okay.
No, we're going to pivot to the great Sergio Leone. And this isn't my favorite Sergio Leone movie, but it's the best opening, and that's Once Upon a Time in the West.
Oh, okay.
Which he made after. You don't even. It's considered.
I mean, I've heard of it, obviously.
Yeah, it's considered one of the great westerns. He made this after The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and he kind of just takes his style and his everything that makes a Leone film Leone, and just accentuates it for the opening of Once Upon a Time in the West. So it's a very famous opening because there's no dialogue.
Right. Okay. Beautiful.
And I'm guessing here, but it's about 11 minutes of three dudes waiting for a train in the Old West.
Yeah.
Just waiting for a train. And they're played by Woody Strode, who actually played in the NFL. And I think it's Woody Strode that's obsessed with a drip on his hat.
Oh, okay.
And you got Jack Aylan, the wonderful character actor with the lazy eye, and he's just been bothered by a fly. And then you've got a third actor, and they're just waiting, and then the train comes in, and then the train pulls away.
Okay.
And then you hear the harmonica.
Yeah.
And the other side of the tracks is Charles Bronson's character that they're waiting to kill. And he's playing his harmonica before he takes all three of them out. And it's
my gosh.
Astonishing filmmaking. Yeah. So brave that you just watch a guy playing with a fly, trying to get rid of a fly.
I think I've seen that clip now that you mention it. Yeah.
It's an astonishing opening. And just a little anecdote for anybody who's seen the film might not know. Leone actually wanted the good, the bad, and the ugly for those three guys. He wanted Clint Eastwood, Eli Wallach, and Lee Van Cleef to play the three people waiting for the train. Charles Bronson kills them all, and that's the whole setup of how bad a dude is this guy if he can take out the good, the bad, and the ugly all at the same time.
Gotcha.
I'm actually glad he didn't, because I still prefer the good, the bad, and the ugly as a movie.
Okay.
Because of Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef, and Eli Wallach. Not that Charles Bronson, Henry Fonda, and Jason Robards are amazing in Once Upon a Time in the West.
Yeah.
But I prefer The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly as a story and as a film.
Gotcha.
But as an opening, Once Upon a Time in the West is iconic.
Wow. Okay. So very tone
exceptionally
setting.
memorable. Yeah, exceptionally memorable. Sets the tone perfectly.
Yeah.
And he's just weird in a wonderful way.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool.
It would have been cool to see that at cinema, back in the day when it was released. Because it's hard not to imagine it's not anxiety inducing when you're just hearing a drip. Oh, and there's a really rusty windmill thing, windmill at the top of the water tower,
Oh, wow.
So that's creaking in the wind. That's so it must be very anxiety inducing if you don't know what's happening, what's coming, or anything. Great opening. Okay, what do you got next, buddy?
All right, next we are going to talk about Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Remind me, which isn't a good sign.
Well, we come in on a feather. Which is pretty famous now,
Yeah.
And we end on a feather. As the credits are coming up, you're seeing this feather here, there, everywhere, floating around, and then it comes in and it lands near Forrest's feet, right? And life is like a box of chocolates, and you start to hear the story being told and all of that, right? But in typical Robert Zemeckis fashion, the camera's moving delicately about, with the Alan Silvestri score and all of that. It's just, one could debate what the feather represents, but there is sort of a lightness of spirit, there's like this sense of perhaps journey,
fairy tale,
not knowing where it's going to go. Yeah. This sort of fairy tale-esque touch. I think it's just a great kind of tone setting opening.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It really is. As soon as you said feather, I remembered, and it is memorable. It's just I haven't revisited Forrest Gump in so long.
It's going to be emotional just from that opening.
Yeah.
Get the Kleenex. That's basically, go and get the Kleenex while this feather drops. This is a warning. All right. What have you got?
I actually went with Dune Part 2 next.
Okay.
And I don't think Dune Part 2, I prefer Dune Part 1 as a movie.
Yeah.
But I really, the reason I bring it up is Dune Part 2 starts off exactly where Dune Part 1 ended, with no kind of reminder. There's no kind of, and that's so
true,
unusual in sequels. And I really admired that. I admired the fact that there's no time slippage. It's literally a continuation from Part 1.
Okay, right. Yeah.
And you're straight back into the war between now the Fremen and the Harkonnens, with these two Atreides alongside being taken in by the Fremen. And it stands out to me for that one particular reason, that this isn't taking place 2 years after the first film ended.
Last time on Dune.
Yeah, there's no... And I really respect that choice. And there is, of course, a very strange dream sequence where the pregnant baby is talking to the brother and what have you. And there's all that weird, wonderful stuff there. But I just really like the idea that they didn't... Because often when you end a film slightly ambiguously, it's because you didn't really know how to tie it off perfectly. When you actually pick up from that last scene and just continue on, it's really brave to me, because that's the hardest thing to do, rather than write a new opening as such. So big props to Denis there. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool. Okay, awesome.
What you got next?
Okay, now we're really getting into it here. This is going to be another Robert Zemeckis, but this is one of the... I don't think any other film has an opening quite like Contact. Do you recall? No. Yeah, it starts very noisy. Earth's the planet in front of you, and just starts pulling back and back and back. Yeah. And I guess the intent, and you confirm for me that you agree with this or not, it's like we're following the radio signals out into space.
Yes,
that
absolutely.
might have reached. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of those shots that, you have no idea what's going on when it first occurs. And then it gets so silent.
Yeah.
Because it goes on for I think almost 3 minutes or something, which is a long time for a single shot like that. And so then you're just sitting there and you're watching the cosmos fly by.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It really is.
And then finally, which is this idea of it coming, the world coming out in a person's eye is a bit of a cliche today, but I feel like at the time you made it, it probably wasn't so much. No. And so, you end up on Ellie, on her ham radio.
Yeah.
And the story begins. But what a strange, wild opening.
Yeah. That was an opening where I didn't appreciate till I watched it again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So when I watched the film, I kind of forgot about it. Then I came back and revisited the film and went, oh, that's such a good opening.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize how prescient it is until you've seen the film.
Yes.
Very Zemeckis, isn't it?
Yeah, very Zemeckis. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's no people, and it's so quiet.
Yeah.
At a certain point, right? Which is such a weird experience in the theater.
Yeah. It's
almost hypnotic in a sense.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who would have first done it. It was probably Kubrick. But that silence for the vacuum of space thing, probably Kubrick did it in 2001, the silence. Yeah. And then Ridley Scott will have done it with Alien. There's certain scenes outside the craft and it's just silent. Mm-hmm. And it's creepy. Yeah. And then Nolan did it with Interstellar when they're traveling out to Saturn. Just that dead silence.
We're just not used to that in movies. There's always ambient sound or something, right? Yeah. So when you do have that dead quiet, it's almost jarring.
They are scientifically accurate, aren't they? So because it's a void, a vacuum of space, as much as I hate to say it,
I know
that sound that a TIE fighter makes as it comes across, that sound isn't going to exist.
No.
So they're being scientifically accurate.
Yeah.
But I love the sound that Millennium Falcon
It's okay.
makes.
Yeah. We will overlook that.
Yeah.
All right. So take me into we're getting down to the end here. Your number 2, maybe?
I'm going to do 2 at one time, if that's okay, because I'm confident you won't have them.
Sounds perfect. Yeah.
First one, and these are very different. First one's The Godfather.
Okay. Yeah.
The first line, I think it's the best first line of any film. I believe in America. And it's being said by an immigrant, an Italian-American immigrant who's the Undertaker, it turns out, in this monologue to Vito Corleone, played incredibly by Marlon Brando, in the office, in his little office of his house on the day of his daughter's wedding. Brando's in his tux.
Yeah.
Cat's there on the lap.
Right.
And he's telling this horrendous story of these guys who sexually assaulted his daughter. Mm-hmm. And how he tried to be a good American. I went to the police and he went to court and they found them not guilty and they let them off and they laughed at me as they left the courtroom. And my daughter's jaw is broken and my daughter's nose is broken and you start to realize very quickly he has gone to the Godfather to seek a justice that the legal system cannot provide him.
Yeah.
And straight away, what Coppola has done, because Coppola wrote the screenplay alongside Mario Puzo, had written the book. Mm-hmm. What Coppola has done is make you as a civilian who would never consider violence understand why the Godfather has the power he does, and you almost empathize with him because when he asks him to kill these men, Brando's reaction is, no, that isn't justice. They didn't take your daughter's life.
Right.
So there's even there's this crazy kind of a murder starts to come through of what the Italian mafia in America were like at that period, which is just after World War II. It's 45, 46.
Yeah.
There was this code of Yeah, we'll have them beaten up. He doesn't say this, but yeah, we'll have them beaten. But what you're asking for us to kill them, that isn't justice, because your daughter's still alive, you know. And straight away, you're kind of like, oh, this is a good guy. This is a good guy.
Yeah, that bit of dialogue just completely frames the rules of
it frames
the family.
The rules of this family. And Jimmy Cahn's there as Sonny in the background. You can see him trying to fencing, and you're like, okay, he's the one with the short temper. And then you got Robert Duvall as the sort of adopted son.
Right,
he's the lawyer, and he's very calm and what have you. And then they even expand into that no Sicilian can refuse a favor on the day of his daughter's wedding, and that's why there's this queue of people coming in to see him.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
And they shot it very dark. You know, the room's very dark, shadows
contrasty.
everywhere.
Oh yeah,
yeah, shadowy figure. These are shadowy people, and then you go out into the bright light of the garden party with the wedding going on and all the happiness and the music, and it's beautiful, bright light. I just remember when I first saw that going, yeah, I can see why this is many people's number one movie ever made, because of the genius involved in putting that together.
Great. Okay. I was expecting sci-fi or action, but this is actually intelligent.
Godfather.
This is intelligent.
And then I'm going to flip to my number 2.
Okay.
Which is 2 movies. The sci-fi is Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan. It's the bank robbery. It's Heath Ledger's Joker doing that bank robbery with William Fichtner in there as the bank manager. Who's we both love him. You've met him, haven't you? Yeah, we both love William Fichtner, and it's just action packed, and they're wearing those clown masks, and it's phenomenal. Yeah, and it's like, this is how you start a Batman movie. Loving it. The aside is, I feel, sorry, Mr. Nolan, it's slight lift of Heat. So that's my other great opening. Is Heat. I think they were so inspired by the bank robbery scene in Heat, which is the greatest bank robbery scene in the history of film, that there's a lot of that taken from Heat. And William Fichtner's in Heat. And that's what made me think. Oh my gosh!
And he's in Contact. This is like William Fichtner Day.
Yeah. Well, he's such a great actor, and he
is.
He's such a great guy. Yeah, it's good to give him some love.
All right, my number 1. I don't think you can talk about opening scenes of films without talking about Up, the Pixar movie.
Oh wow! I forgot about Up. That is the most emotional.
Gosh. Yeah, it's like 10 minutes long.
It is.
And if you don't cry, you're not human.
Yeah. Not only did I cry, I switched it off. Me and my wife,
it was just too much.
It was too much, genuinely. It was too much.
Yeah. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, which is probably about 5 people in the world, you basically watch these people grow up their entire life.
Yeah.
You know, romantic relationship. And it takes you right up until one of them passes away. Like you see their entire lifespan, basically. But somehow they do it without dialogue and just music, and it's incredibly emotional.
Is it possible to be that emotional if they weren't animated, if they were actors, if it was live action?
Excellent question.
I almost feel like the animation is what makes it even more emotional. I don't know why, because you can draw this person you just love, you know.
Yeah. In theory, it should be, humans should be able to create that more than like a live performance should be able to make it more than a drawing. Yeah. That probably helps in the sense that there's so much control over every nuance.
Yeah.
I feel like the film is good.
Yeah.
I don't know that it ever quite lived up to that opening again.
Yeah. I don't know if anything could.
Film. Yeah. But it's still a great film. Yeah.
It's an astonishing opening.
It really is. Yeah.
Oh, great call. I can't believe I didn't think of that one. That's a great call.
All right. Hit us with your number 1.
My number 1 is from a little-known director, actually, called Steven Spielberg. And
okay. I've heard of this guy.
Yeah, it's... I might have mentioned this on a previous episode in a previous season. I don't know, but I'll very quickly tell you the story again. That I genuinely, my memory is that I didn't breathe for the first 11 minutes of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Also the sign of a great opening.
Yeah, that... From the moment that Paramount symbol turns into the real mountain and we see Indy from behind, to the point where the plane takes off, I swear I didn't breathe. Now that's not possible, but that's my memory of it. It hooked me as a 6-year-old boy to the point where it's still my favorite film. It's still my favorite opening.
Yes,
my favorite movie character by my favorite movie director. It's just perfect.
Yeah,
and there's bits of it I don't get. I think the first line is actually Alfred Molina, character, who's one of his guides, and Indy pulls out this dart from a tree and he tastes the poison and drops it on the floor, and then Alfred Molina's character picks it up and he tastes the poison and he says, 3 days, still fresh. They're behind us, or they're following us. It's like, that doesn't even make sense. Why does the dart in the tree that they're walking past forwards mean that they're behind us? It doesn't, but it sets the tone because you just creeped out about it. You know, where are the Helvetos? They're behind us. We're being. How do you know from that? That doesn't make any sense.
No, that doesn't. Wow.
And then the other guy that's going to try and screw him, you know, do you remember the clicking of the gun? And that's when Indy hears it and turns with the whip and whips the gun out of his hand. The gunshot goes off, and then Harrison walks into that shaft of light that Spielberg does to reveal the eyes.
Great reveal, yes.
The great reveal that only Spielberg could have shot again. Yes, I'm assuming that's all natural light through Hawaiian jungle, you know. And
hard to say,
but it's unbelievable. Interesting fact that I didn't know until I watched the documentary Timeless Heroes. They actually shot that last on Raiders. So that entire sequence is the last thing they shot for the film. And Kathleen Kennedy said, I think it helped because Harrison had the character down.
Right,
so when you get that reveal, you know, everything's perfect because he's already done it. And I didn't realize that. But yeah, I mean, memorable. Heck yeah. Grabs you. Heck yeah. It tells us about who this character is. Heck yeah. It does everything, doesn't it?
It does.
And it's the ultimate opening to the ultimate franchise. And we all fall in love with this dude. So sorry to be dull and boring, but Raiders of the Lost Ark is the greatest movie opening of all time. Spielberg did all right on that list, didn't he? If he really did. This, he'll be chuffed, I think.
Apparently he knows how to make an opening.
Oh, can I just give some honorable mentions here?
Let's hear it. Yeah, hit me with some honorable mentions.
I jotted these down, so it wasn't a list of 30. I just thought I'd say it all in one go. So, because I wanted to talk about some different titles. Can't let the subject pass without giving props to Star Wars: New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Sunshine, Jaws, which you mentioned. Interstellar's opening is phenomenal. Blade Runner is incredible. Blade Runner 2049 with Dave Bautista crushing it, by the way. Best I've ever seen Dave Bautista.
Yep.
Dune Part 1. I'm not normally a voiceover fan at the start of a movie, but Zendaya's voiceover is fantastic. Ready Player One, which builds this super strange world with an unmatched precision of execution. And Dr. Sleep, the sequel to Shining. Alex Esso is amazing, playing Shelley Duvall, playing Wendy Torrance,
of course.
if that makes sense.
Awesome.
And Rebecca Ferguson absolutely crushes the role of Rose LaHatt. She's terrifying from frame one. Just wanted to mention those as my...
those are great. Yeah, those are worthy of the honorable mention.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Ian. And once again, this latest film we've done, Joe 3.0, is on Found TV as of October 26th.
Check it out.
All right, Ian. Thanks again.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Catch you in the next one.
Take care.
Popcorn in Orbit is produced by The Shooting Eye and Ice River Pictures.